Hello everyone, welcome to another video. This is part 3 of finding ideas in chess. You can go a long way and probably become a very strong player just by using the first two methods of learning plans and developing unique and interesting thought processes. The third way is to study the state of mind of players in different positions. Um, so basically all human action can be defined as an expression of state of mind. So just try to deduce or guess what is the state of mind in which the player is playing the game, and maybe you will be able to use it in your own games. This is a slightly more abstract concept, and there cannot be, I don't think there can be concrete proof or evidence to support these claims, but it's something I've used and just wanted to share it here. So the position on the board is from 1993, the World Championship match between Kasparov and Nigel. So white is Nigel here, and the match has been going in Gary Kasparov's favor so far. And even though the play has been pretty even, both sides have been fighting it out, but Gary Kasparov has been scoring a bit more. So in this position, white played e5, and black probably replied a bit hastily with knight f e4. The best move was knight d5, and after knight bishop e7, knight e7, queen g3, black can go d5. And I think he's okay, at least okay here, and can play against a b3 bishop. But yeah, black probably hurried a bit in playing knight f e4, and after bishop e7, queen e7, he runs into a lot of trouble after knight into e4. So white is ready to sacrifice his queen, and black has no choice but to take it because he already lost a piece. Rook into f3, e into d6. So now I'll collect the rook on f3. I've already collected a knight on e4, and I have a pass pawn on d6. So all this, gives me more than sufficient compensation for the sacrificed queen. So knight into b3, knight into b3, queen f8, gf3, queen f3, knight ec5, bishop c6, rook h e1. So white is constantly improving his position, and it is not clear what black can do here. Finding a plan is difficult for black, and you basically cannot solve this problem right now. You cannot equalize in this position because your position is objectively bad. So you need a mistake from the opponent to equalize. So, and there's no real way to do anything. I mean, it's not easy to find the next move for black. What I observed in this game was that black kept posing small tactical threats and forced white to calculate as much as possible. When we are in a worse position and the player with the better position is probably waiting for us to collapse at some point, and he does not want to calculate, he's expecting us to collapse, and that's also natural. Most people do collapse, and it's a good enough way to win, but sometimes there's an option not to collapse, right? So here black tries to hold on to the edge of the cliff as much as possible and poses some small tricks. So e5 he plays, I mean rook into e5 loses to queen f4 check. So this is not possible, keeping that pawn basically, but yeah, nothing more than that. d7, rook d8, white plays rook d6, hoping for some rook d1 and some ideas, and increasing his hold in the position. And black plays an interesting move now, and again, as I said, black is trying to force white to calculate and earn his point, force him to do that. And after a5, now we need to reach a crisis point. So white, tempting white basically to take on a5 and spend some time there. So knight a5, black's idea, knight a5 was not played in the game, but knight a5, black's idea is queen f4 check, king b1, queen b4, some geometrical tactics, rook into e5, bishop d7. So we are able to eliminate this dangerous pawn, because knight into d7 loses to queen d6, and rook into d7 is rook into d7, knight into d7, queen into a5. Yeah, and I don't think this is what white wants in this position. black is winning here. So, but bishop d7, white still has knight a b3 and rook f8 a3. We would be in a position where white has a queen and two rooks, rook and two minor pieces for the queen. But we are still living, and the position that white is reaching is pretty deep, right? So it's like 5 moves deep at least, so 24 to 28. And generally, the better side does not want to enter such complications because you know it is a belief that you could miss something there and you could spoil your advantage. But yeah, so the better side usually tries to keep it under control, keep it safe, and tries to keep up the pressure without risking anything. So white played a3, just stopping black's a3, I suppose, and black played a4. So still losing. Black is still losing. He has not changed anything in that respect, and he cannot change anything. Knight d2, queen g2. So one thing I understood is that you should allow your opponent to win and not commit harakiri or suicide yourself. You should not damage your own position in trying to equalize or trying to save it even, but just allow the game to continue for one more move. That's a good attitude in such a hopeless position, I think. And let's see, c3. So rook into e5 is still a blunder. Queen g1, c3, bishop d5, and after knight d3. I mean, there is no way to equalize here, and if you turn on the engine, everything looks easy for you. But here, it's still black still finds ways to keep the game going, and that itself is a huge advantage, and probably annoys the opponent a little bit, I guess. Yeah, bishop b3. So beautiful again, uh, tying down this knight. So, excuse me. And yeah, still I'm not doing anything much. I'm absolutely losing. So black wants to play king f7 for rook e5. So basically, what uh, you're asking the opponent to do is to find an idea to win, rather than you find the idea for the opponent. Let him find it, right? You just make a move where it is not losing obviously. It's probably losing anyway, but it should not lose obviously. I mean, it should not lose easily. That is the only thing you can do in such a position. So knight into e5 was played in the game. Still black is losing. Queen h2, knight c6. Still, as you can see, black is trying to deter white as much as possible, but as I said again, it's still completely losing. And white continues in the right way. So knight c6, right? So queen into d6, rook e8 check. Very important move. Otherwise, this is the idea, of course. Knight into d8 is just queen into d7. Rook e8 check is his main idea. So king f7, black goes on. So he plays king g6 here, which is forced because king f6 is knight e4. So you just don't ponder about such decisions much, and yeah, you keep going, right? So knight e6 he plays. So very difficult. I mean, it almost looks like black can resign here. But that's what I love about this game. But I mean, of course, it's losing still, and white has played beautifully. But black also keeps finding these crazy moves to keep the game going. One more move, forcing white to find one more idea to win the game, right? So knight e6 is winning. Bishop e6 is of course rook e6, and bishop e6 just d8 queen. So losing on the spot. And so what is the black move here? To me, it looked beautiful when I was studying this game. Queen h2. So basically, not keeping things pleasant for white, keeping it as annoying as possible. And yeah, so d8 queen is of course queen g1, and black gets mated. Sorry, white gets mated on d3. So he cannot queen yet. So basically, stopping him from doing something, and keeping the game going for one more move. There were many wins for white here, and nothing wrong with the move he played. But another idea was rook f8, which was winning, I have to say. But rook f8 is not such an easy or natural move, I think. But yeah, I mean, you can find it, and if you put the effort and so on. But that's all white can also do in this position. Sorry, that's all black can also do in this position, nothing more than that. So basically, yeah, queen into d7 is knight e5 check, and black is running out of checks here, and white queens the pawn. So queen h2, white played another winning move, knight f4 check, king h6, knight d3. And now, so he's going to queen now, right? So again, Gary Kasparov finds a beautiful idea, and that is queen g1 check. You know, maybe white saw this. I mean, missing these ideas are very easy actually. And after, you can calculate knight d3 is winning, but suddenly your opponent comes up with a resource and you get more on it, right? So knight e1, black's idea is the beautiful queen g4. And after knight into b3, queen into d7. So these small tactics allows these tactics. I mean, but of course, you cannot change the assessment or anything. You can set these traps. And knight d3, queen g1, rook e1 he played. So knight e1, as I said, doesn't work. So he has to play rook e1 and continue the game for one move. I cannot do anything else. All I can do is continue the game for one more move, and that's what I do. But still, now it's losing. White could have won with rook h1, king g6, knight e5, king f5, knight c6. But yeah, this is natural actually. So, but yeah, white finally went wrong. All the pressure and all the tasks that black had given him. Probably, I don't know. We can never know these things for sure. But yeah, knight e5 is a game move played in the game, and black plays g6, and now he's actually saving the game. How incredible is that, right? So yeah, and painful for white, definitely, really painful. And if he had found rook h1, he's winning, but knight e5 does not win. I mean, he can still claim an advantage because after knight e, and again a tactics to save myself, knight b3, queen d7. I'm not sure if this is winning, or I mean how winning. Probably white has a big advantage, but I don't know how winning this is. I can't assess this position honestly. But g6, rook f1, bishop e6, yeah. And now it's already not so simple. Rook f8, white would play bishop d7, right? Rook f8, bishop d7, knight d7, queen e7, and it's not so easy at all. So more annoying things. White played knight f7, and now it ended in a draw. So what did I derive from this game, right? I mean, obviously this is a game with a lot of mistakes, but I think you can learn from any game. So what did I derive from this game is that, to summarize it, basically, to keep small tactics um, as much as possible, to force the opponent to calculate instead of doing something yourself to save the position. Sometimes your position is beyond saving, so at this moment I don't think it makes sense to save the position. You just have to allow your opponent to do the work rather than doing something yourself. And the third thing is force them to calculate as much as possible. Yeah. Third thing is don't think for the only moves, and yeah, just keep. I mean, there should also be the mind should also be that you should be comfortable with losing already because your position is very bad, and yeah, that I mean you should have some kind of detachment from the result already, because as long as you're trying to do something with the result, you're not going to succeed here. So that is an important state of mind actually. Important part of the state of mind thing. You cannot say that I'll play for this result, or I will do this or do that, but you just have to try with what you have. I used this in one of my own games. I think, I mean, nothing as dramatic as the game we just saw, but in my game against Micheal Adams in 2018, I was also considerably worse. If you look at the position on the board, you can see that things are not so pleasant for white. So yeah, and I'm white here. So my pawns are on the dark squares. My bishop is stuck here. My knight is, I mean, he has a very good knight which can become active sooner or later, right? And just generally better place. His pieces are better in the center. I can barely get to the center. So yeah, so all these things conclude that black is much better here. And I tried to use these things that I had seen, make improvements to the position without damaging it, force the opponent to calculate to find the win instead of doing anything yourself, right? So rook g2, and also another thing you cannot do in this position is to keep playing the precise move. I think I don't think it's possible at all, but even as a defending side, I don't think you can be as precise. You can be as precise as possible. You cannot be completely precise. And yeah, this position should lose. Rook g2, d5, and probably it's a very unpleasant position to have against my opponent, especially Micheal Adams. So to say the least, he's one of the biggest experts in the world in such positions. But it's better if during the game if you don't think about these things. So and I was not thinking about it, I think. And yeah, just play the game, right? So cd5, queen c2, rook e4. So I'm trying to make a slight improvement to the position, exchange one pair of rooks. Rook into e2, queen into e2, rook d6. So now he wants rook e6 and take over and so on. But now I want to improve my position slightly and give him a slight small tactic, Rook h3. This famous favors me, I think. Knight on the f4 is not possible. Queen e8 mate. So he plays g6. So I play c4, and I'm of course not going to do anything here. I don't think my position is good enough to achieve anything on this diagonal, but it's something I can annoy my opponent with, and that's what was my idea. So rook e6, so queen d3. So again, making a move which does not lose immediately. This is my only aim. I just don't. Also, my position does not look as bad as Kasparov's position in the previous game, but it's. I mean, I can assure you that it's very bad. So, and it's beyond saving. It's beyond objective saving actually. So, even if you play the best moves in the position, you're probably going to lose. And so, you have to come up with something, right? So, how do you make a decision in such a position? So, you can learn that from the other games that you see, how other players are making decisions in similar positions, and try, right? So that's the best you can do. So I use this. I mean, this is a game that had an impact on me. So that's why I'm saying I'm referring that game and then this game. So queen g4, rook e2 is threatened. I cannot do much again. Rook f3, probably even rook e1 he has, and it's getting out of hand. So I have to stop. So I'm just calculating the simplest lines and avoiding losing immediately. Like I said, I'm not calculating anything special. So okay, rook f3 loses, so I play bishop e3 by method of elimination, you can say. Rook e8 and queen f1. So again, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just making a move that does not spoil my position. I'm making a move that does not equalize. I know that it does not equalize. Actually, I'm making a move that does not spoil my position. I'm not even improving my position. I want to make a move that does not lose immediately. That does not spoil my position. So this move has no idea actually, and I'm just passing the move to the opponent. Show me the win, right? So I'm saying show me the win, and okay, if you show the win, I'll accept it. So queen f5, queen f2. So after the game, I was told that black was winning, but during the game, I did not see it at all, and I think I knew. I mean, both of us knew that black was winning. I think, but the key idea was to play f6 probably at some point. But this is not such a natural move to me, and yeah, even here it doesn't make a lot of sense. Gf6 is bad because of knight f6 and his knight is too strong now. But probably I would wait. But I can understand that is winning actually. I would not argue with that. So queen f2, he played rook e4, very natural. See, he's also waiting for me to collapse, right? So it's natural that white collapses in such a position. So none of my moves have any specific idea. I'm just waiting for him to show me the way. So queen, rook e8, queen f2, c5. So taking away a square, improving the position. Bishop c1, king f8. So what does king f8 achieve? I don't know. Just waiting again, I think. Maybe I should have gone. So maybe I think there was some idea to king f8. I don't remember exactly what it is now. Maybe I should have gone bishop e3 back here. Yeah, I think bishop e3 wants queen b2, queen b1 or something like that. and it becomes harder and harder for me to do something. So I played queen b2 actually, but yeah, like I said, the position is losing and he could have won just like in the other game with f6 actually. See, this was a subtle point and my opponent had to find it. And gf6, the only moves to win is actually queen g4. Now, yeah, basically this is an intermezzo, and basically black is stopping queen h8 in all these lines. So the direct queen g4 doesn't work because of queen h8. That is what I intended with my move. So I'm exploiting king f8 basically. Of course, I cannot. I'm just kidding. Exploiting king f8, but yeah, f6 wins for him. Not surprisingly at all. Everything is better for him, and so he should win here. Bishop e3. He even has rook e3. I think rook e3, queen f4, and he wins a piece. And yeah, it's going out of control basically. I'm just losing a piece here, I think. I don't think I can survive this. But he missed it. He played rook a6. And I said, okay, let me live another day. Rook f3, rook e4, queen d2, queen g4. Especially in such positions, you cannot make moves with ideas actually. You don't have ideas. I mean, we can train to think on ideas, but sometimes you don't have ideas. You don't have a decent idea. So the move that does not lose immediately could be an idea. Or the move that does not spoil your position could be an idea. And that's what I learned from the other game. Queen g2, queen h4. Yeah, I just want to survive move by move. And yeah, my opponent missed this. And now suddenly, I don't think what he did was right. Rook f3, he had to go queen d1, I think. And still, I'm definitely worse and losing probably even. Not sure entirely what's going on here. Maybe this. But yeah, rook e2, rook f2, knight f4. It's not encouraging basically. Queen h3, check even, king e7. But yeah, I'm just surviving. I mean, if queen d1, I don't think it's winning immediately, but yeah, he should have played queen d1. Knight g1 was just a mistake. Bishop c3. Maybe he could have done queen d1 even now, but yeah, already it's, even if I take this, I'm like really happy than what I used to be, but find it hard to believe that I can save this. So I'm not sure what I would have done here. Find a move that does not lose, right? So that's the rule here. Maybe this, and keep it going. Try to keep it going, something like this. So I was not actually I was not taking decisions for my opponent also. That was another important thing I was doing. So I was not worried about. See, I saw that bishop c3 was improving my position. I just played. If I'm losing after that, it's very much possible I'm losing after that. But yeah. Um, I mean, I don't want to find the win for my opponent also. So that's kind of, because I know it exists, so let him find it, right? This is just an app. So knight f8 is already bad, I think, and I can save this actually, and I managed to save it. So this is just a drawn ending. Yeah, very surprised that I managed to hold this. I was also very surprised. But yeah, just learn something from this other game and try to use it here. A certain mindset and certain thinking process. And yeah, I hope this is a very abstract and probably complex concept for most people, but I tried to explain this well as I could, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching.